Just start singing.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Xmas Your Enthusiasm. Today's episode, randomly generated, thank you computer, is The Hero, Season 8, Episode 9. This premiered, I don't know why I fucking tell you people this, August 14th, 2011. I'm sure you had a great day on that day, whatever that means. Just real quick to explain the premise of this podcast. Remember, this is not a review of the show. I don't review this show or specific scenes in and of themselves. I'm just keeping score of Larry's transgressions, which is a word I fucking hate. Just confrontations that he is always getting in, big and small. I decide whether or not he wins each of these confrontations or loses. Big or small confrontations. We keep a running track. And then throughout the season, we see how Larry's doing. And then we add him up. And we see, is Larry the asshole we think he is, or is he right some of the time? Anyway, I do have to start on a sad note. Goodbye, Wegmans cheeseburger sub sandwich. I've talked about this a couple times on previous episodes. I don't even think I'm exaggerating when I say this was my favorite sub or hero sandwich. Oh my God! The episode we're talking about is The Hero, and tonight's the last, or yesterday was the last day you could get the cheeseburger sub at Wegmans. Of course, most people always call it The Hero. How fucking weird is that? We're here to say goodbye to one of the greatest heroes of my lifetime, the cheeseburger sub at Wegmans, which is incredible, but it's only limited time. And they already said only up through whatever date, and I've been dreading it, and I've tried to, show my support. My doctor will be thrilled. But anyway, we bid you farewell. Cheeseburger sub from Wegmans. You know I like to do double meatball, American cheese, lettuce, tomato, mayo. I left in the Thousand Island because it made it seem real. And lettuce and tomato. Let me tell you something. Wegmans, I know you're listening because you need to be offering me a lot of money because I talk about you all the time. If you motherfuckers turn this into a McRib situation, because let me tell you, you need to make this permanent. There's a lot of great things about Wegmans, and this may be the fucking best. The peanut butter's incredible. The peanut butter cups are incredible. The buttercream's incredible. The pie's incredible. A lot of their subs are incredible. The pizza's incredible. I talked about the pizza a couple weeks ago. One of the best pizzas I've ever had in my life. Do the right thing. Make this permanent. Don't turn this into the fucking McRib where we're going to have it for 3 minutes in January of 20, and then everybody has to pretend they fucking like it. Make this a permanent fucking thing. At least I still have Panera next door. Yesterday I went 7 times. And I make a point, I make myself come in. When I come in, I do a lap around all of Wegmans, so I get about 900 steps each trip. So I'm trying to turn this my Wegmans Sip Club, besides just abusing Panera Sip Club, trying to get in my steps. I'm not saying I'm trying to lose weight, because, that's fucking bullshit. But hopefully that helps me make me a little healthy. Anyway, so that's it for Panera. That's it for Wegmans. I mentioned last episode, I'm sunglasses people now. Because the sun is just always in my eyes. I have noticed it is a bummer walking around with sunglasses on when you pass kids, because when I pass kids or dogs, I like to make a funny face or do something to make them kind of laugh or whatever. Hard to do with sunglasses. As a matter of fact, you realize to them and their parent, you're just staring at them, which isn't as much fun. So I have to find a workaround for that. I guess I could just take off the sunglasses. But then what does that mean? Like I see a kid down the hallway, so I'm going to lower my sunglasses like, oh yeah. Like it's a hot chick at the beach. That's, all right, I'm grossing myself the fuck out. Just, I'll figure it out. But before, I have one last thing to say before we get into the episode. You motherfuckers on the metro with these backpacks, when the train's crowded, These motherfuckers come with backpacks on their backs. They're like the old. I mean, now I'm talking to old people. I hope these are like the old fucking TVs with the cathode ray tubes. Now we have the flat screens, but kids, it used to be, depending how big your TV was. If your TV was huge, the motherfucking thing might be 3 feet deep, 2 or 3 feet deep or wide, however you're looking at it. And these motherfuckers come on with their backs strapped to their backs, I guess, because that's how mommy fucking put it on there, and just women on the train, taking up a whole nother spot for another person. Listen, motherfucker, take the backpack off your fucking back and hold it down by your feet like a normal fucking person. If I see one more motherfucker come on the train with basically a fucking sack of car batteries on his back and then acting surprised, why is it so crowded on here? I'm probably going to bitch about it the next chance I get to anybody I see or on this podcast, so you people are warned. All right, let's get to the episode. The Hero, Season 8. Currently, the season is, Larry's record is 15-18. Trying to get him up to 500. I don't know. Anyway, according to the IMDb, dumbest motherfucker. IMDb, Larry accidentally becomes a hero on the flight to New York, earning him the respect of the woman sitting next to him, but it backfires when Jeff and Susie try to court Ricky Gervais. I'm going to say Gervais. I don't know if it's Gervais. You say this, you say that. Who gives a shit? I say Ricky Gervais. Now, I will say this episode has a lot of interactions that fall under the category of, look, Larry's right here, but... So, just be on the lookout for that. At first, transgression. Larry sitting next to a girl on the plane. Well, I think it's Samantha Mathis. Well, I'm pretty sure we last saw... Speaking of, 100 years ago, in a little movie, what the fuck was the name of that movie? It was River Phoenix, Sandra Bullock. They were in Nashville trying to be country singers. Crazy About Love or something. The thing called Love. That's what it was. I haven't seen her since then. Anyway, so Larry's next to her on the plane, and he accuses her of putting her drink across the dividing line between the two seats, and this is easy breezy. Larry's right. You can't be fucking shoving your drink over on the side. And if you do, at least act horrified. So, right off the bat, Larry starts off 1-0. I don't need to comment on the flirting, but he's 1-0. So next up, this is in first class, of course. I should have mentioned that. Of course, Larry's in first class. Our second interaction is Larry needs to go to the bathroom. The bathroom in first class is occupied, so he decides, okay, I'll go back to the coach. And he walks through, and some girl immediately gets up, doesn't get up, she's sitting there. She asks where he's going. Like, she doesn't even say, hey, don't even think about going to our bathroom, rich fucker. You step there. She just flags him down like, where are you going? I mean, why should she even stop? Who does this on the plane? Just stops a random person. I don't care if you saw him coming out of first class. I don't care if you saw him coming through the goddamn fucking plane window. Just shut the fuck up. What do you give a shit? You fucking economy class cops? If I'm sitting next to her, I'm like, dude, I'm not with her. Can you just fucking mule and bitch about it? About first class? Like normal people? When they're not around? Why are you flagging people down? I'd be more sympathetic towards the resentment. Like, to be honest, if I saw it, I mean, unless you're sitting next to the bathroom, like, you don't know what this guy's doing. What, you getting up and turning around where people are walking around the plane? How sad is your life? Who are you, Xmas? I mean, I'd be a little more sympathetic towards her resentment if she hadn't confronted him. I mean, I'd be with her. I'd be like, yeah, you know what, fuck that guy. But what kind of monster confronts somebody? Like, was she doing this any person just walking around? Whoa, hey, buddy. Fuck her. And plus, in the time she took bitching at him, he could have pissed. Like, it could have all been over. She's ridiculous. Larry's up 2-0. So, big part of the episode, I need to point out, as Larry's coming out of the bathroom, he trips over his shoelace. There was a guy that was shit-faced, trying to get some more booze from the flight attendant. He was getting a little aggressive. Larry's totally oblivious to this, comes out, trips on his shoelaces, knocks the guy down. The guy's like, oh, gosh, I'm sorry. So now Larry's a hero. I do want to ask, is this confrontation between the flight attendant and this drunk guy, I mean, how many of these fights in the show that didn't actually involve Larry were there? I wonder if there was a lot. I feel like there wasn't, probably because there's not a lot of scenes where Larry's not in it. There's just not. Anyway, so Larry's a hero. But then what happened to that guy? Like he just sits right back down, but he did shove a flight attendant, which I don't know if you could do in 2011. Anyway, so now you caught up on the how Larry becomes a hero thing. So now we're at a restaurant. It's Larry and Jeff. Jeff calls Larry an accidental hero. And also during this is when we first see Ricky Gervais. Larry's like, Jeff's trying to get him to be his client. And Larry's like, hey, I should get him a bottle of wine. Now, and then he says to tell the waiter to tell Ricky to choose a bottle of wine or whatever. And Ricky chooses the $300 bottle of wine, the most expensive one on the menu, which becomes a thing throughout the episode we'll talk about. But if only just now it occurs to me, why is Larry buying the fucking wine for Ricky Gervais? Wouldn't Jeff do it if he wants him to be a client? Fuck. But speaking of accidental hero, so Jeff uses the term accidental hero. Great. For Larry, because Larry, he's getting all the credit and the glory, but it was an accident. Larry didn't mean to stop the guy. Is there an example of a great historical accidental hero? Like, maybe, well, it's not a hero because he shot Lincoln. Like a guy, maybe Booth didn't mean to, shoot Lincoln. He was going to do it as a goof, but he tripped at the last second, shoots Lincoln. Now he's a hero to fucking assholes in the South. So he's like, fuck, I got to keep this up. That's a shitty example, because nobody wanted Lincoln to be shot. Or what the fuck am I talking about? All right, I'll come up with a better example of that later. Probably not. I'll probably just hope you people forget about it. But anyway, next up, next transgression, we have Larry. Larry's he's hungry, he's waiting for his food. He sees the food is up at, I think they call it a pass in the restaurant, just waiting for the waiter to come grab it and give it to Larry. But the waiter's busy yakking or whatever off or whatever. So Larry just goes up and gets it. So now the waiter confronts him. Hey, what are you doing? You can't be fucking just going around grabbing food. And of course, since Jeff had just said something semi-smart with the accidental hero thing, he immediately has to say the dumbest shit possible. He tells the waiter, can I do a Jeff impression? That Larry grabbing food from the kitchen without the waiter. He just revolutionized the way restaurants work, my friend. That's terrible. Anyway, so he says, tells the waiter, he just revolutionized the way He just revolutionized the way restaurants work. It's like, yeah, dumbass, it's called stealing. Congrats, genius. No wonder Larry gives you 10% of his money. Fucking viva la revolution. Fuck that. Larry's wrong. You can't be grabbing food. It's probably not even legal. You can't be grabbing food from the kitchen. 2 and 1. And then we see Larry on a date. He got a date with this girl on the plane, Samantha Mathis, because he's a hero. She thinks he's a hero. And it is interesting. She mentions Sully. She says, hey, Sully Sullenberger. Remember him? And, of course, it's like, yeah. It was, a year ago? But one interesting note to you, nice people out there. It's kind of a macabre subject. I shouldn't bring it up. Although, after gleefully talking about John Wilkes Booth being a hero a minute ago, I guess maybe, I was supposed to be, for work, I rode a bus across the GW Bridge, and I would have normally been riding across the bridge the moment Sully landed that fucking plane, but I just happened to be out that day. I would have watched that like a TV screen if I'd gone to work that day for whatever reason. Also, and that was the second time that happened to me, that the flight to the Dominican Republic that was like 2 months after 9/11. Not only it was Veterans Day, so I was off that day. But if I had been walking to work that day, I would have not only would have seen this crash based on the time and where it happened, I would have maybe had to like jump out of the way. This thing would have landed on top of me. But there's no work that day. So twice I missed two plane events because it just happened to not be at work that day. All right, I'm sorry. I don't know why I brought that up. I should. I'll try to pick it up. Between Lincoln and this, I really need the Beatles to show up on the fucking Ed Sullivan show here. So, boy, I haven't put a little pressure on myself. So now we cut to Larry, the next transgression. Larry's coming to Susie's dinner party. He's brought a loaf of bread instead of wine. First of all, Larry wins. Susie's pissed off he brought bread to her dinner party. Who gets fucking pissed off when somebody brings like fresh bakery bread that like was probably next door? I mean, it's New York. They live in the middle of the city. So right, Larry wins that. So he's up 3-1. But this is of course a ripoff from a Seinfeld episode. The one where they're going to some dinner party and George says he's going to get Pepsi. And Elaine's like, George, you can't show up at a party with Pepsi. And he said, let me tell you something. Something I'm paraphrasing. I walk in that party with Pepsi and I'm a goddamn hero. He obviously didn't say that. But I used that line years later when Thanksgiving, I was at a friend's house and she was hosting and she was panicking because she was about to run out of food. And I said, hey, no problem. Let me run down the street to 7-Eleven. I'll just get a bunch of taquitos, tacos, pizza, wings, chicken tenders, whatever they got popping that's hot, I'll grab. And she was horrified. You can't bring 7-Eleven to food to Thanksgiving dinner. Everyone will be horrified. And I said, I said, let me tell you something. I come strolling in here with 7-Eleven food. I'm a goddamn hero. Just like, however George said it in that Seinfeld episode, I said just like that. And guess what? I was a goddamn hero. I'm sure there's plenty of people who prefer some great bread to wine. But who the fuck gets pissed off about somebody bringing bread to your dinner party? But that is another ripoff of a Seinfeld episode. Every time I mention one of these things being a quote-unquote ripoff, I should act furious. And at the end, I should just claim I had no idea that Larry David wrote on Seinfeld. I should be, what? I had no idea, but always constantly picking out these ripoff things. Fifth transgression, Larry versus Ricky Gervais. They have a little Seinfeld versus extras pissing contest. I mean, I'm sorry. I love extras. But come on, we are dealing in the real world. Sorry, Ricky. Larry wins. He's up 4-1. And now they're arguing about, because Ricky Gervais shows up with a DVD of extras to give as a gift to Susie. Larry's right. Larry points it out, and it's like, Larry's right. You can't be fucking Ricky Gervais showing up with a DVD of your own show. Come on. So Larry's 5-1 so far in this episode. Hot start for Larry. Now they're getting ready to sit down to this dinner party, and Susie's decided she wants to split up the couples so that make things a little more interesting conversation-wise. Larry bitches and moans out loud, and so he looks like an idiot. Good, now everybody fucking hates you. So whoever you're sitting next to, they already fucking hate you. And it turns out it's Chris Parnell who Larry. I don't think it's Chris Parnell, and Larry makes some innocent comment about his marriage, his sex life, or something. I don't know. It'll come up later. It doesn't really matter. But Larry looks like a fucking idiot, so he loses that one 5-2. What are you gonna do? You change your mind in front of everybody? Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's have a cup. Just shut the fuck up and sit down. Eighth transgression. Larry versus Susie and Ricky. They're down at the end of the table making fun of Larry's bread. They're like claiming it's super hard or something stale. Fuck them. Bread's great. You two suck right now. Larry wins 6-2. Again, Larry's whining. Like, he gets up and walks around to bitch and whine about Susie. Not about splitting up the couples. And his point this time is she's sitting next to Ricky Gervais because that's part of the cool table. And it's like, all right, once again, you look like an asshole idiot. But while he doesn't always come off great in this episode, I'm sorry, but if you're on the dinner party and Ricky Gervais shows up, then you sit next to Ricky Gervais. And you can't complain about that, Larry David, because and in I think the previous episode, a recent episode, I made the same point about you and Cheryl. Of course, if you're at a dinner party with Larry David, you want to hear about Seinfeld. If you're at a dinner party with Ricky Gervais, you want to sit next to Ricky Gervais. Larry, you look like an idiot. You're down 6-3 now. And I will say, and I only bring this up because it's a continuation of their just general Susie, Larry bitching and fighting each other. But she makes a comment about her and Jeff being stuck with Larry, that he's an appendage. And it's like, I mean, I know that's their shtick. They hate each other, whatever, they go back and forth with each other. But that's a very specific thing to say about like, doesn't your husband make his money because of Larry? For not much. Like, I think Jeff's main job is to make sure that everybody on the planet doesn't forget Seinfeld existed. And he gets paid, for what I can picture, pretty handsomely. So I know they have a thing, but I didn't like that snotty comment from Susie. And Susie said a lot of shit to Larry over the years. And this one felt different. I didn't like it. Anyway. So anyway, now they're all going to Ricky Gervais's play that he's in. He's told Larry, hey, I'll leave some tickets for you. And of course, Larry gets there, and he's got to pay for the tickets, which pisses him off. So that'll come up later. Anyway, the next official transgression, Larry and Susie are sitting in their seats, and Susie decides she wants the aisle. Larry's like, but my ticket, that's my seat. And they fight, and it's like, this is definitely under the case of Larry's right, but, I mean, it's his ticket. He has the ticket. But you have to give the seat up to the woman. I mean, even if this woman has called you a four-eyed fuck, a stickle fuck asshole, a bald asshole, a miserable fuck, a selfish bald fuck, a smug piece of shit, goddamn moron, pervy bald lunatic, even if she's called you all these things, you gotta just take the fucking seat. Plus, Larry, you have the body of a pencil. Like, you can sit between two people, you know. I mean, for once, can we feel sorry for Jeff? So now Larry's record for the episode is 6-4. And of course, during the play, they're arguing throughout it, which throws Ricky off. And he's upset about, which, hey, that's another instance. That's exactly like the Pez dispenser in Seinfeld when they go to George's girlfriend's piano recital. Jerry breaks out a Pez dispenser. Elaine laughs. She gets upset. So that's another... And the piano player gets distracted and upset. So that's another, did Larry David write for Seinfeld? Anyway, so they're backstage now, and Ricky is miffed. And of course, just like you'd expect, he and Larry get in an argument about Ricky's play or Oklahoma. Which one's better? And it's like, look, I couldn't pick Oklahoma out of a lineup if it came and punched me in the face. But it's Rodgers and Hammerstein. And they're talking about it 70 years after it came out. So I'm guessing it may end up having a bit more of a cultural impact than whatever fucking steaming turd Ricky Gervais just laid on stage. Hint, get back to writing with Stephen Merchant, please. Anyway, Larry wins that one. Oklahoma, I mean, come on. Now he's up 7-4. And then Larry confronts Ricky about, there's no way he's doing real crying during the play. And they go back and forth. What are you fucking doing, Larry? The only thing that's interesting about this is he does the stare down. He does do the stare down thing, which I'd asked previously how late in the series, because I feel like he only did that stare people in the eyes thing early in the series. But I guess he does it now, and this is the eighth season. So anyway, so now Larry's slipping away. His lead's slipping away in this episode, 7-5. And then last one is just generic Larry and Ricky bitching about the money from the wine, the money about the tickets, yada, 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 yada. It's just, for fuck's sake, Larry, just shut the fuck up. It's $500. You probably paid that for the fucking shoelaces that tripped you up to make this hero. I can't even remember why I'm ruling one way or the other about this. Just shut the fuck up. Larry loses 7-6. But, so for the episode, he's 7-6. Barely kept it above 500 after that hot start. But, my main beef with this episode, which besides, well, it wasn't too long actually. It's getting there. No Leon. Where the fuck is Leon? I'm sorry. I know he eventually shows up in New York. But why the fuck? I don't care what you need to pay Leon to be on the goddamn show. Get him on the show. How do you not have him already? Like, what are you doing? Get JB Schmoove. Pay him whatever you need to pay him. Get him in the show. Unacceptable. So 7-6 for this episode. 22 and 24 for the season. Not bad. I do want to bring up one thing before the end of this episode. I'll try to do this quickly. I saw an episode of Beverly Hills 90210, and it's called The Pitney Pendulum, if you want to look it up. And the big thing is there's a big developer wants to put in some big development in town. Oh no, Brandon finds out this development is going to get rid of the Peach Pit, which Nat has run for, 800 years or whatever. So Brandon's already pissed off, but then he finds out, guess who's part of the development? His dad. So of course, Nate's like, or Nat, I'm sorry, did I call him Nate? Nat. I mean, I've only seen each episode 9,000 times. Nat's like, Brandon's like, this sucks. This is your life they're fucking with. They can't do this. And Nat's like, yeah, it sucks. But, they gave me a good offer. I guess I'll just take the money. And he makes a joke about, sit on a boat and just, whatever. And it's like, Brandon's furious. And I'm like, are we all supposed to think that's bad? So then the upshoot is, of course, the most ridiculous thing ever. Brandon pitches a fit to these investors or whatever. I don't know why he was in the room. Boom, deal's dead. Peach Pit lives on. And that's like, fire up the grill, Willie. And Willie, the black cook who's been with Nat forever, whatever, just like glee, lights up. Hey, let's turn on the stove again. And they're all dancing like, great, we get to fucking slave away for 12 hours a day, this shitty fucking diner for these kids for the rest of our lives instead of sitting on a beach somewhere. These kids who, now granted, it eventually turned into Peach Pit after dark. But these kids, they act like, Nat, you have to stay forever. These shitheads come and go. The second they're gone for college, they're not fucking coming back. Like, who's Nat doing this for? Well, so I just got such a kick out of that. Like, we're supposed to be dancing that instead of, like, getting a pile of money and going to sit on a beach, Nat's like, great, I get to fucking serve hamburgers to these asshole rich fucks until, I fall into my grave. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. So, again, 22-24 for the season. Way to go, Larry, I guess. I'm having a hard time signing off this episode for some reason. Anyway, thanks a lot for listening, guys.